Welcome to Beware Spoilers. I am Adam. Um, Let me turn my AC off. I think it's blowing right into the thing. It's noon on the dot on Saturday. I just saw Onward from Pixar. When I see a Pixar movie, maybe this is just me, and not everyone. I look forward to seeing the short they put before it, because Pixar always does these really good shorts with very minimal dialogue. It's a very visual, it's a very it's a way of, it's a great example of visual storytelling with a lot of these shorts, because it's very minimal dialogue. It's all exposited through over the top emotion from characters and things like that. It was weird. This time it was not a Pixar short, it was a Simpsons short. And I'm surprised that hasn't had more play. That hasn't had more, that hasn't gotten more attention in the media yet. Because number one, I remember in Incredibles 2, Mr. Incredible says, I eat lightning and crap thunder. And you would have thought that people like he said, like fuck or shit or something like that. People were freaking out over a swear word in a Pixar movie. But this movie has a Simpsons short before it. And one of the first jokes you see on the screen is people reading baby care books. It's like the one that Marge has is like everything you're doing is wrong, and the next one is like about breastfeeding, and I'm surprised that more people haven't said anything about that, because that's something that would, for younger kids, it's like, oh, goodness me. It's like people are already freaking out about the lesbian, the lesbian cop, which, I'm sorry. Can we stop with I'm not saying we should stop with the representation. I'm saying, can we stop touting representation as a one-off line that can be wildly interpreted differently? The cop has about, 2 scenes in the entire movie, one of which is non-dialogue driven, and the other one, she has a one-off, offhanded line about her girlfriend, which, based on her dialogue, could have meant a female friend of hers, if people use that term in that way. It's like, stop touting that as representation. It's not representation. The leads aren't LGBT. The no supporting character fits into that role. There's one supporting character in a scene that can be largely omitted from the movie. That little snippet of dialogue can be completely omitted with no real repercussion. It's like, stop with this. Because it's like, when they said that, what was the other movie that was like, oh, it's gonna have with Star Wars. Star Wars had the LGBT representation, and it was a small scene that you can cut out completely, has no impact on the story. It's not representation when you do that. You're doing it because you think it should get you brownie points, but at the same time, you can then cut it out so you don't risk overseas markets who don't want to show the movie. It's like, you don't want the movie show, like Qatar and Russia are not going to show the movie then, oh no. Take a stand, but don't, be dumb about it. And the thing is, too, it's in this case specifically, it's very specifically written where it could be interpreted in multiple ways, so that way you don't risk losing money from people like 1 Million Moms who are like, oh, well, there's a lesbian in this movie, we can't go see it now. It's so stupid, and they're touting it as representation, it's disgusting. What else did I want to say? There was, the movie's cute. I'm talking about Onward, actually. I don't know if I said that, but again, title. Every week I go through this. Talking about Onward. And, it's very run-of-the-mill in terms of the plot. What elevates this, what elevates most Pixar movies, is most Pixar movies are, a very basic plot, is that it's the character, you can get behind the characters, and a lot of times you feel what the characters feel. And that's why these movies work when they do. It's like, there have been a few that didn't. The Good Dinosaur didn't quite land the way it intended to, and neither did Monsters University, or, I feel like there was another one, but, this, even the worst, they're still pleasant time killers, and it's like, this is a movie you're not gonna feel bad about spending the money to go see. I really like. Again, this is the visually the movie's beautiful. Chris Pratt and Tom Holland have great have great chemistry through the entire movie, and it's heartfelt, and that's really what makes these movies drive home their message, is that they're heartfelt. You feel the characters, and you understand why they feel the way they do, and they really know how to drive home an emotional point. Be it like in Bao or in any of them. I think Pixar is the better of the animation studios at Disney. Where Disney, like, I prefer, like, if I had to choose seeing a Pixar movie or seeing a Disney animation movie, I'd rather see a Pixar movie. And this movie really sells why. It's like, they can take a simple plot and elevate it to the point where you feel invested in the characters. Like, this plot is, I would say, similar to Shrek, but, like, it feels vastly different when you strip it down to what it is. And what else is there? I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about this, because it's like it's a good movie, but it feels very, like, not quite, like, it's not treading any new ground. It's not anything like the novelty of real world mixed with fantasy is cool. I wish more things would do that, and we had more examples besides just this and Max Landis' Bright. But, like, that doesn't exist. We need more like that. And it'd be interesting. Hopefully this genre really opens up. Hopefully it doesn't take 30 years, but where we get like George Lucas with what's it called, when he wrote Star Wars, that wouldn't let him do Buck Rogers. We get someone who sees this and is like, I want to do that. With the fantasy and the real world, it's an interesting mix. It's an interesting way to mesh the two. And I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully, that this kind of, sparks that more than Bright did, because Bright was not great, and also Max Landis is a shithead. What else did I want to talk about with this? No, it's just, it felt like a very, like, I don't know, it's like, it was good. I left the movie feeling like this was a good movie. It was interesting, it was cute, and it's like, I just can't explain, like, there's a certain inexplainable quality to it, that it's like, I didn't feel like I wasted my time going to see it. I didn't feel like I was shortchanged after seeing it, and I feel like if you see this movie, you're not gonna feel like, you were shortchanged in any way. Which doesn't sound like a high praise, but at the end of the day, in the current movie market, that is a pretty high praise, because what's the ultimate reason why people aren't going to the movies? It's like, why am I going to watch it here when I can watch it on Netflix, or I can wait until, in this case, the movie comes out on Disney Plus in like 4 months. Why am I going to do that? And it's like, why am I going to risk going out when, people are going nuts over the coronavirus? It's like, because the movie's cute. It's a cute movie. And by the way, can we just talk about etiquette when it comes to buying seats at a movie theater? If you have assigned seating, and you look at the theater, and there are entire rows empty, and there are some rows of people in it, there are rows that have some people in it, and there are entire rows empty, and there's a row that has one ticket sold, please do not pick the seat, for your family, the 4 seats directly next to that person. I'm sorry. I feel like that's weird. I saw a tweet once where it was like, it was obviously a joke, where it's like the theater was entirely empty except for 2 seats right in the middle that someone bought, and then the person was going to buy the seat right to the left of them, and it says, hello, future friends, and it's like, yeah, that's annoying. If, like, I go out of my way to find seats, like, I go by myself to the movies usually. If I go with my brother, it's a little bit different, but if I'm going by myself, I try to find seats for myself that are out of the way, where it's like, if one person buying one seat is not going to be an issue. Especially if I'm buying like a Dolby or an IMAX or something where there's assigned seating. Which, by the way, every theater should have assigned seating in the year of our Lord 2020. But if that's happening, I'll go out of my way to find a spot where I'm not going to be obtrusive with my seat. That said, please do not pick the seat directly next to me. because you do not need to pick the seat directly next to me when the entire rest of the row is open and the 2 rows immediately in front of us are open. Like, that's just obnoxious when you do that. So if you have not yet seen Onward, it's projecting for a pretty big opening weekend. If you're on the fence about seeing it, I would see it opening weekend. I wouldn't be too concerned about spoilers, because if you watch the trailer, you can kind of piece together what the entire movie's going to be. Because it's not quite like, there's no big twist, there's no big, anything that's going to surprise you in the movie in terms of the plot. It's just, in a plot like this, the fact that they can make a plot that's bare bones and the movie still end up so good is a testament to the characters and the way the characters are done and acted too. Because even Julia Louis-Dreyfus has a great role in this movie as their mom, and it's truly remarkable what they did here. So definitely, if you have not seen it yet, definitely check out Onward. That's playing starting this weekend. Also playing starting this weekend is next movie we're going to be doing, which is tomorrow. We're going to be doing Emma, which I've said before, I don't know how well it's going to stack up against the best iteration of that movie theatrically, which would be Clueless, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. So until tomorrow, have a great rest of your day.